Hey guys, it is ScreenWipe here again. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode.
Hey, yo.
It's
What's
me,
up, guys?
It's your boy ScreenWipe.
It's me, Jacob,
It's like
obviously,
a boy
with,
band.
with Harry and
Hello.
Bo.
Hello, I'm
And-
the fun one.
What we're going to be covering today, first of all, is Star Wars.
Star Wars.
You
I
know,
don't know- I
the
don't know
thing with Jar Jar Binks in it.
I don't know who wants to kick this off first.
I'm not. I'm not really a Star Wars guy.
No, I mean,
I
not
think,
me.
I think
not
out
me
of all
particularly.
three of us, I'm probably the biggest into Star Wars, and I'm not like that big into Star Wars.
You want to go for it, Ben?
Yeah, sure, I'll have a crack.
Maybe we could all
Star
talk about-
Wars,
yeah.
otherwise known as not Star Trek. It's pretty cool. I like them. Prequels are garbage, but like
Except 3. That's alright.
no,
No, three's the worst.
no.
I like General
I
Grievous.
think three's the best of the prequels. Just because of the memes that came.
I
from
like General Grievous. a
Have
lot.
you have
He's
you
like-
ever heard of the tragic story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I think General Grievous
Is
like
that a
my,
meme that I don't
he's
know?
like my third
Have
favorite
you not
Star
heard
Wars
of,
character.
just a second here? Have you not heard of like the prequel Emperor Palpatine memes?
No.
Oh my boy,
All of our 3 viewers now are going to be so mad.
they are going to be so
I think
disappointed.
3 is pushing it a bit.
For
Yeah.
one and a
Okay,
half.
all
gonna-
two
it's-
of you, my mum and Harry's mum.
It's gonna be.
My mum.
It's gonna be Callum.
And Ben, who we talked about earlier, just so he can spite us.
And maybe David. If
Yeah, maybe David if he's engaged.
I think, yeah. I mean, General Grievous is like my third favorite Star Wars character.
Yeah.
So why would I?
I like him. He's better in the expanded stuff like other shows and comics, and if you go back and watch Revenge of the Sith on its own, he's just kind of an asthmatic robot, and that's really all he is, and he's not that intimidating.
It's kinda
in
cool,
the
though.
Movie. He's a lot better in other stuff, and I would say that he's probably one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars pantheon.
I just like you said, I just like the meme. Just when everyone's like,
Hello there.
and he goes,
General
and
Kenobi.
like every meme I see, where it's just like, when
Yeah.
you find a used condom in the pool, it's like a fine addition to my collection.
I guess I'm like.
You're missing out on the prequel memes.
Yeah, I guess I'm the unaware one, aren't I? 'Cause,
They're really good. There's like
well, I've
there's
seen
a-
I've seen the prequel. I just mean the memes.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they do the obvious ones like you've got the high ground Anakin, but like you get more.
I've seen those.
Yeah, but you've got stuff like everything Palpatine says.
You were my brother, Anakin. I know that one.
Yeah, you and my brother. But there's also stuff like just Palpatine
Great
saying,
meme. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars memes.
Do it.
Do it. So, do you guys have a favorite Star Wars film?
Yes, I do.
Take it away. Is it Empire by any chance?
It's not.
What?
It's my favorite of the original
Mine's not
trilogy.
either.
But my favorite Star Wars film, and I'm prepared to be ripped to pieces. I actually really enjoyed The Force Awakens because I thought it really captured the magic of the original.
I tell you what, Jacob.
That is the
It's
most,
not my favorite, but I did love Force Awakens.
that is the most
I- I-
intelligent thing you've said on this podcast.
I think it captured the magic of the originals and then brought something new to the table without being too pushy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Um,
it really did hash.
I think.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I already did.
yeah.
It really did rehash A New Hope. But it did a good enough job of at least making me not super care about it and
Yeah.
disguising it. And I don't know if that's testament to me as a viewer. I think I'm relatively patient as a viewer, and so when I say, for example, when I say a film's boring, I think it kind of speaks volumes because I really do try and get invested in whatever I watch. I like Ocean's 12, for example.
Well,
But
Isn't that the newest one?
no.
No,
that's
that's-
Ocean's 8.
Yeah, because they recast them all.
The Cast of
Anyway,
Women.
but yeah, I really did. I've seen Force Awakens twice, and I really liked it both times. But, sorry, do you want to carry on, Jacob?
I think
sort of
think
took that
Kylo Ren is probably the best character in the
Yeah,
franchise.
I really like.
in the whole Star Wars.
No, yeah. Oh, really?
I genuinely think
I agree with you actually. I think.
Kylo Ren is probably the best character in the
Look at us!
thing.
Look at us, Star Wars
I
liberals.
think the only the only thing I don't like that much is when he takes off his mask, and then I'm just like, no,
He's got a big nose.
Yeah, people
Can I
hate
say-
that, right? Can I tell you what I love about Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
He takes off his shirt.
You may.
He like the swole.
and then-
The best thing about The
I mean-
Last Jedi was the Swallow memes, right?
Ben Swallow was
So good.
like Kylo Ren
like
had
porgs.
he had like an amazing character design, a great mask, a great lightsaber, and that was before we even saw him. When we saw him, he was still he was a really threatening villain.
No,
but he has a side to him where you're not like, oh, he's not like just evil because he wants to be evil.
Yeah, he is indeed a conflicted character, and he has that really he's not solely bad. And
Solo.
Prior to the Last Jedi, at least, you could see either Rey going to the dark side or him turning to the light. It was a real which one's going to happen? And that's why I think he's a lot better than characters like Darth Maul, ignoring Clone Wars and other non-film stuff. Back when Phantom Menace came out, what was Darth Maul's character?
He
just nothing.
He looks cool. He was he's like that thing from Insidious.
I really don't like Insidious very much. I was just going to talk on Kylo Ren as well. I think a lot of people, what they want from a Star Wars villain is someone who's cool looking. He's got this cool lightsaber and this cool suit. But I'm more interested in I really don't mean to sound all about it, but I'm more interested in character. And I think cool looking imagery and stuff is definitely has a place. I can definitely engage with it. But
you want a good character design.
Yeah. So when Kylo Ren takes off his helmet and I don't know, because Darth Vader doesn't take off his helmet until episode 6, right? And it's episode 3.
Call it 6.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. But I don't know, to have that, he's much more human than a villain.
Yeah.
And they do I think with the Last Jedi, his whole conflicted personality thing maybe got a little bit melodramatic. I'm not really invested in Rey as a character either.
I don't like Rey very much. I don't like her.
She's just a really bland character.
I feel like in Last Jedi, this might be me personally, but I feel like they just made her out to be a bit of an idiot. They're like, reach out, and then she was like, with her arm.
I feel like she's a blank slate.
Yeah, I feel
like has no personality.
They just make they're like, let's get a pretty girl and then make her do stuff.
Do you know the whole? I mean, this is pretty late to it. we're covering discussion that happened when Force Awakens comes out, but all the stuff about Rey being a Mary Sue.
Oh,
were you engaged in this?
Luke was a Mary Sue.
Oh yeah.
Goddamn Anakin!
But Luke was charming at least, and Rey was as well.
No, but the thing is, Star Wars is full of Mary Sues.
Yeah.
What does Mary Sue mean?
A character that has no flaws.
Yeah, like a kind of I can do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke was even worse because he was whiny in Episode 4. He was annoying. But I want to go to the Tashi station to get some power converters.
At least he was an interesting character.
But then if he was whiny, then he wasn't a Mary Sue. I think here's the thing about the looks of characters. It really depends on the franchise. And hear me through. So with Star Wars, looks are important, but as is the personality. But if you take Transformers, you just want to look as cool as possible, and you don't really care. Maybe if it's Prime.
I've only seen the first Transformers film, but with the worst parts of that, I like that.
That's the best film.
It's the best film in the franchise.
Really?
Yeah.
Transformers 1?
It's because they have Spielberg producing it, and he was able to hold.
I didn't know that.
Spielberg produced it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's holding Michael Bay.
I think the characters.
Not to go off a bit, but the Transformers The Last Night. I showed this to Ben. Have you seen it?
Yeah, the scene with the
Bumblebee and Nazi Germany.
I know.
Bumblebee killed no.
For those who don't know, if you're listening, spoilers for Transformers 5. But
Callum, if you haven't seen it yet. Don't watch it.
Well, I've shown Callum this clip. But,
okay. Okay, Mum, if you haven't seen Transformers.
Bumblebee goes to the Nazi bunker and blows it all up, and it's horrible.
It's my favourite scene.
Anyway,
it's great. Great movie.
Yeah, I think
watch.
I think over everything else, Star Wars is about. Star Wars, the best parts of Star Wars is a space opera, right? It's super cheap.
I've always seen Star Wars.
Yeah,
Star Wars is a fantasy. It's a fantasy disguised as sci-fi in the same way that Game of Thrones is like a political drama disguised as a fantasy.
I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I'll take your word for it.
I can turn this into I can turn this into the Game of Thrones podcast if you want.
You know what? I think myself and Harry would rather you didn't. Ben.
Well, I mean. Watch the first 4 seasons and then come back to me because those are some of the greatest things on television.
I think the best thing on television is
what?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh hell yeah!
Bazoingo,
Penny! I've knocked. Greetings, Penny! I've knocked upon your door 4 times. Star Trek. Bazoingo.
Mike's a bit crazy.
Literally, it's like, oh, I'm Sheldon. My shirt has the flash in it. Laugh track.
Why are we talking about the Big Bang Theory?
Because I want to
No,
bang
I
everyone in the
like Star Wars. I do like Star Wars. I like the original trilogy. My favourite's A New Hope. Because I like.
Not Empire.
Empire's my second.
Empire's the best. Everyone loves Empire.
Yep. I mean, it's good.
I really like the bit with the pod
I don't
racing
really-
in Empire. It's just so.
No, this is
I'm
pod racing.
joking.
I'm not a huge Star Wars fan in general, but I do really like A New Hope. Just talk about the prequels, which I've rewatched since I was a child, and but when I was a kid, I played the hell out of the Lego game.
I think. Am
So
I
they're
the
pretty
only
Lego
one
Star
who,
Wars.
as a child, absolutely loved prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely was.
that's like everyone's story.
Like when I was a kid, like you know the pit they have in the second one with like the monsters.
Sarlacc pit.
No.
You mean
Like the gladiator pit.
yeah,
with
the
like
3 different monsters.
Yeah,
I like the green.
that was
dude.
so cool when I was younger. The green one was like.
The green praying mantis.
I'm lost.
There was like a
Have you seen Attack of the Clones? It's nothing of a movie.
Oh, the place on is it Genoa?
Geonosis.
Yeah, and there's like
Genoa's in there.
there's like
It's
a
a
praying
thing.
mantis with like a lizard head, a rhino thing, and like a weird cat dog. predator.
Yeah, they're like he's like a spider cat.
It's kind of funny because all the set pieces that people talk about from the prequels, I don't think of the film. I think of the Lego game. So you know,
I think all of the best bits have like the droid
droid
factory.
monsters.
What?
I would argue that all of the best bits of the prequels have like droids or monsters. Like the best bit, the first one to me, is when like they're being hunted by like all of like, those giant fish.
I'm gonna argue that
Yeah.
the pod racing scene isn't bad.
You know the
It's an alright scene.
you know the droid
No, this is pod racing.
in 2.
Yes.
Oh god, what was
I
that
mean
scene?
that wasn't really a big thing in the. I mean they were there for a bit, but
In the Lego game.
I wanted to get all the mini kits in that level.
Yeah, I remember that
and
level.
it was super hard for some reason. I don't remember what, but I played the goddamn hell out of that level. And same with the
Harry,
pod racing
keeping it
bit as well,
PG.
and in the film, it's like over in like a minute.
No, it's.
I
think it's
I
the
do have a
most
question.
memorable scene.
Okay.
How does everyone feel about Darth Vader at the end? So like when he's Darth Vader.
The no.
in 3. And
No,
not just like the
like
no,
that.
because when I was younger, I actually thought it was well done when he like snaps out the restraint and starts crushing everything.
We're not. Yeah,
I
again.
thought that was really
When
cool.
I was younger, I didn't.
Spoil all the Star Wars films. by the way.
I didn't think it was.
late for that. But
I didn't think it was bad because I was a dumb child.
Yeah,
but-
even now, like if I watch him crush things, he's like, no, I couldn't have. I'd be that's kind of cool still.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get on to the Last Jedi. 'Cause
No, we're not.
I
know you
think.
guys
No,
have a
I
lot
think
to
we
say.
could get some like.
We'll talk about the spin-offs as well.
Wait, so just briefly, what are all of our opinions on the Last Jedi? Because
I liked it.
I hate
think.
it.
I think it's just.
I had fun.
I think it's a good Star
Am I
Wars.
the only
film.
one who hates it?
You hate it. Yeah.
Although lots of people hate it.
Yeah.
Narratively, I think it's flawed. Visually, though, I thought it was great. And
I think
direction-wise, I think it's really cool. And
people are just complaining about what's her name?
Rose.
No, the pink-haired woman.
Oh,
yeah, General
Admiral
Yeah.
Honda.
People comparing about complaining.
Laura Dern.
about her.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Laura Dern's hair. Yeah.
With all the, I'm not incredibly invested in like Luke as a character and stuff. Like I like the films,
Oh, I
but
loved Luke in
but
The Last Jedi.
I don't
I
have that
didn't.
deep connection to the character.
Yeah.
So when he came, all the stuff that happens at the end of the Last Jedi, I was touched. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But
It's a good
I
send-off.
wasn't like.
I wasn't. I was just like, this is stupid.
I think
I
Luke
liked
in
it.
The
I thought it was
Last
cool.
Jedi is the best that Luke has ever been.
I
In
Did
any
anyone
Star
else?
Wars film.
Did anyone else call the Force Ghost thing?
yes, because if you look at his feet in like the first step.
Well, yeah,
there's nothing-
well, that's what I
Believe
saw
it
too,
or not, I don't spend time looking at Mark Hamill's feet.
No, but you do.
I
when they
mean-
shot
I
photos
do.
on it. Like, I mean, I think like I don't.
I think-
because you know how I knew as well what I thought about. Thought, why has he taken the time to have a haircut and then arrive? I was like, he wouldn't do that. But now you know it's a Force Ghost. Like, that's a very stupid thing to say. But I was like, Luke wouldn't take the time to have a haircut.
I mean,
like,
you got to
they've
save
re-
the
like,
galaxy.
They've
gotta do
retconned
it
some
looking
stuff
good.
with him already.
I know you don't like the Last Jedi. I would just for reference, I would give it a 6 out of 10. I just had fun. I just thought it was pretty
7. I think it's just
Really?
better. I think it's just better than Return of the
good.
Jedi.
It might be.
Because Return of the Jedi is easily the worst of the original trilogy. I think I would put it around the same as
I
in,
don't
like
really
they
mind.
are, but mostly good. They've got some problems.
People really seem to think that a new up here and then Empire higher and then it falls right down to Jedi. Like people aren't that keen on 6 at all. But I don't.
6 is good.
I don't mind the Ewoks.
I like Ewoks.
Yeah, because I like what's his face, Warwick Davis.
They're not like
I
people.
watched this thing with him with Bear Grylls the other day. It's like funny.
What's this?
He was like Bear Grylls was like, now Warwick, zip line.
Oh,
And
Warwick
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah. And he was like,
Oh.
he was like,
If only.
No, Warwick.
And then he got scared and he started grabbing like the foliage and then he just ripped from and he's like, oh my god!
Yeah, I know. I think the score for Last Jedi was great.
But that's like a given,
Okay, no.
like because John Williams.
We don't need to circle
Okay,
John Williams because everyone does it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know,
mean,
but
he's great.
there's a
I
reason everyone
believe
circled John
in this
Williams.
episode we are going to be briefly covering scores at the end. Some of our favourites.
Oh my god, we are. That's
Probably
I
just
like
like probably
scores.
like last episode when we did like our quickfire favourites. I do have something to add about the Last Jedi, and I know that like obviously in Star Wars nothing makes that much sense physics-wise, but the film completely ignored all physics. So you're telling me, oh, it's all cool. There's a hatch open, but the Asian woman can still breathe, and then she can drop bombs because bombs drop in space because of gravity, isn't there?
It's a
Yes.
goddamn movie with laser
Of
swords.
course, and that's what I said. Like, obviously, it's not like
Jesus
no,
Christ.
you have to take basic things into account like that.
It's
It's just stupid.
it is a sci-fi. It's not
The fight,
it's a
and
fancy-
also the fight
The
with
forces-
the fight with Kylo Ren, Rey, and those like the
I know,
guards
cool fight.
is way over. Okay, here is my biggest problem.
Oh, here we go.
Here is my biggest.
Here we go. Let's see what.
Snoke is my biggest problem because
Oh,
he was
I hate
underdeveloped, he was underused, underutilized, and he's dead, and that's
No.
great.
Okay, can I?
Can
I stop on this, Ben?
we just go back?
Okay.
Pretend the prequels never happened.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, the world is somehow better.
No,
What do we know about Palpatine,
we know about
the Emperor? What do we know about him in 6? If the prequels never happened, what do we know? He's just some hooded guy who can shoot lightning out his fingers.
Yeah, but we know more about Snoke. At least he's interesting.
I suppose. I mean,
like he is interesting rather than a big CGI going. She trusted you.
I mean, I like Andy Serkis quite a lot, so I give Snoke a free pass.
Two things. One, Callum just texted me asking how things are going. I said good. And said we're just arguing about the Last Jedi, and he wants to express that he thinks it's shit. So
Thank you
Well,
very much,
Callum is banned from watching this podcast. I have said it here.
I think with Snoke, first of all, I loved that scene. Where, but this is major spoilers for Last Jedi. Like this is
What? We've we've been talking about it for ages.
when Ren
Rey
kills him and stuff, and then
Rey.
there's that huge action scene. I thought it was great. I liked the fact that it killed Snow off. I liked the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is I'm not arguing that it's an objectively good narrative decision. Obviously, it's super personal, but I like the fact that they subverted the expectation of
The
we're
audience.
going to build to Snoke being, we're going to find out more. Like, no, we're probably not going to
No,
find
he's
out.
just some guy.
He's dead. Yeah,
It was just a really
and
bad subversion, though.
Have you
I completely disagree.
have you heard the phrase "No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars"?
Yeah.
I think The Last Jedi is somehow just conclusive proof.
No, I think
that is.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that's my opinion.
of course. This is a debate. It's all good.
It's a good debate.
Must have
I
Oh,
really
dear.
feel strongly that the reason people don't like Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson,
We talked about him last episode.
he was good.
Anyway, go back.
Good director, I think. But
Yes, right.
I mean, he obviously doesn't have as a ritualistic experience with Star Wars as a lot of fans do. He wanted to subvert expectations. He wanted to make something that you weren't expecting. That kind of screwed with the
That's not how Star Wars works.
the
You
usual
can't really.
machine of Star Wars.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And that's great because obviously he has a different relationship with the old films as a lot of fans clearly do. So the way he executes
You have
his
that.
vision doesn't
There was
you know,
that quote
comply with
from.
how a lot of people feel about Star Wars.
There was that quote from George Lucas saying Star Wars rhymes. Like when you look at the prequels and when you look at the original trilogy, you have like Anakin and Luke filling the same role. You have like you have different characters filling in different roles, and like the events that happen rhyme. History repeats itself, all that. And I feel like that's what a lot of people were taking into thought and as a mentality going into the new trilogy. And Ryan Johnson just kind of like, nah, that ain't happening. We're not rhyming here today, boys.
And I liked that.
Yeah, I mean,
This is why I was so looking forward to Rogue One. Is that it's going to be
it's going to be a lot different.
I hate Rogue One too.
You hate
yeah,
Rogue
I do.
One?
A gritty interpretation of Star Wars, and then it's just the same thing. And I don't
really hate Rogue One.
I don't like criticizing. Criticizing. Like,
I'm going to criticize
England.
Yeah, criticizing a film that's obviously supposed to be standalone in conjunction with the series it's a part of. Because on one hand, it is part of a series, and you have to value it as such. On the other, though, I feel like
it's a spin-off,
and it's trying to stand as its own, so you should value it as its own, on its own merit.
Yeah.
But it's it was boring.
No, I think
It looked dry. Oh my god, the comedy.
If you can call it that.
I was gonna. Yeah.
I mean, like,
Sorry, I'm a stuttering mess.
If I can I interject?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I mean, do you want to say?
Well, I think Rogue One was just it was fine.
Did you guys see Solo?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't see it because I didn't want to.
Solo's a
If
wonderfully
did I,
I think it was a wonderfully pointless film. There's
Really?
no point to it existing, but it's alright. It's
Darth
fine.
Maul turns up.
Apparently it's. Yeah.
The robot.
Spoilers for Solo.
Wow.
Apparently it's. I wanted to ask you guys this because I've heard it. Because obviously I follow quite a lot of
Ask away.
sort of film
Journalist.
critics and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like in the YouTubes thing or
Look at that.
I've just heard like a lot that it's like super badly lit and everything is super dark.
For a large part of it, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I think with actually, okay, now this is a complete tangent, but if you went and saw Infinity War in 3D, which I did one of the 3 times.
What is
No,
wrong?
You saw it 3 times?
Yeah.
Didn't Ben see how
I
many?
saw it 4.
Okay, like if you
I saw
watched
it twice
if
in
you
one
watched
day.
Infinity War in 3D, you know how badly lit that film was in 3D. The whole thing was
Really?
just.
I mean, like, who
Dark.
goes to see 3D anymore?
Not me.
Well, I did anyway, and like so did a full cinema. But like the 2D, okay, like 2D experiences for me are always better.
Yeah.
I
No,
agree.
it's not 2009.
I'm not huge. Actually, like gimmicks, just as a concept, generally, I quite like usually.
Gimmicks.
Quite like a good gimmick, but the I don't know 3D. I don't really.
I have a
You
big.
keep your 3DS. You keep your 3DS 3D mode.
I use the hell out of that slider.
You use the 3DS mode on the.
Yeah,
I have.
but I don't like watching a film in 3D. I think it takes away from my personal experience with how I like to engage with it.
I have a huge point to come about Star Wars,
Okay.
which was kind of meant to segue off Rogue One because
Right, sorry.
because no, it's fine because it was the best part of the movie. Ooh. And I want to talk about Darth Vader and whether we think he's overrated or not because that
Don't
end,
let
because,
your
because,
aspirations
because-
show. Is that what he says?
Yeah, because the end scene of Rogue One where Darth Vader just blitzes him.
My
I would
PP
argue
got hard.
that is like one of the best scenes in Star Wars. Well, I like almost like it's definitely the best bit of Rogue One. Anyway. I love
yeah.
it.
Sorry, which part?
You know,
The
bit at the very end where he
hallway.
just kills a bunch of.
His murders.
That was one of the best
He
scenes
just
in
goes
recent
apeshit on
memory
those
in terms
dudes.
of Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that was such a cool. It's just how it's all black and you see the.
Oh,
colour.
so-
It makes him feel intimidating.
So-
He
so-
feels like a villain.
Would you say that Darth Vader is overrated?
I never. I mean,
I mean,
okay, yes, but I think he's a good villain.
Yeah.
I just think
I just don't
he
think he's
gets-
the best villain of all time.
Yeah, everyone's always
Because
Darth Vader's the
that's-
best. He's just like
that's
a
Lord
really good villain.
Farquaad. He's the best villain of all time.
If I'm- have you guys seen the movie Sunshine? The
No.
Danny Boyle one from 2000. That has an incredible villain, and no one talks about the villain in that film. I mean, I'm not going to elaborate on it, but I just think it's an interesting point.
obscure
But he's-
filmography.
Yeah, but he's only in the third act of the film. The villain,
Okay.
but he's so. I'm not going to spoil it because people should watch it. You should watch it.
Yeah.
But I just think you just have to know what you want from the villain, and I think it's pretty clear with Darth Vader that did Lucas write them all?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it was.
Because the
Or
comics
whoever
came out
drafted
after.
the story, script, or whatever. They're clear what they wanted Vader to start as, and there's a very clear evolution with how he goes and what he becomes. I think he's given to go back to Infinity
Oh,
War.
I love Thanos.
I liked Thanos, but I felt like they couldn't really decide if they wanted him to be intimidating or not. I feel like they overdid the squishiness.
Squishiness.
Yeah, at the wrong time.
Thanos looked too much like a goddamn Care Bear.
Yeah, I feel like he
Vader.
was like, oh, I'm sympathetic, and then at other points he was like, oh, I'm so scary, and I was like,
Thanos?
yeah, I was like, can you kind of pick?
Yeah, I think there was a bit of an imbalance, and some people like that in a villain. It's like, oh, there's conflict, but I felt like it was a little bit mismanaged in the narrative. With Darth Vader, I think they develop him so well. I mean, they for the first probably film and probably New Hope and Empire actually, they let him be this threatening presence, right? There's a darkness about him, and then they bring it all in Jedi, and but there are traces in Empire especially of his squishiness. I just think he's a really you can tell that the people behind the character cared about him as a character. I think.
Yeah,
not as a person. I just mean how he developed.
They
and how
cared
they showed
about how this guy would be.
Yeah, I have a really
I
interesting
think so.
question still about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
If you didn't know anything about the films,
Yeah.
how would you want to see him first? Because I would argue,
I was gonna make this point. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think my first impression of him would actually be from Rogue One. If someone said, right, you're going to spend so many movies with this guy, and I've never seen anything before, and you put that on, I would have been like,
whoa,
that's
I think his introduction and
just say Shadow, and then.
Are we calling it A New Hope, or are we just saying Star Wars? Like, are we traditionalists? Or...
We're going to call it New Hope just for consistency.
I think his introduction in New Hope is good and intimidating, but I think the scene from Rogue One is so awesome. But I think the Rogue One scene's a bit more fan service than anything.
Yeah,
when you get to see your favourite villain come back and do something badass.
I know, but like it would be a great.
It's kind of going back to that Sam Raimi, horror thing.
I'm really sorry.
That we were talking about last episode. In some ways, I kind of feel like that's shot like a horror scene.
Yeah.
With Vader, he feels like
a horror movie.
The Xenomorph.
Hey guys, can we move on to our next topic, the Grinch?
Well, can we just before we leave off Star Wars, I just want to say I don't think George Lucas is a good filmmaker.
Neither do I.
I think he is a very
Neither is Hitchcock.
Shut up, Hitchcock is
great. I
great.
don't like Hitchcock.
I think.
I'm now arguing with Callum about The Last Jedi.
Jesus Christ!
He said Rian Johnson doesn't know how to structure a movie, and I said I don't.
Tell him I hate.
I just think he doesn't know how to manage narrative conflict.
Can you tell him I hate it?
I think.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking about
George
Callum.
Lucas is a very imaginative and creative man.
He's a bit of a crispy boy.
Have you seen any of his non-Star Wars films?
You mean like Howard the Duck?
He directed Howard the Duck.
He directed Howard the Duck.
I didn't actually know that.
He directed. Yeah, that's the thing. That's
what's
the
that
thing.
movie X? That's sorry.
Ex Machina?
No.
X.
Well, he
X.
made American Graffiti, which I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Oh, X.
You can go back to
I just don't think George Lucas is that good.
I feel like do you know who else really? Okay, this is kind of like getting off a little bit, but do you know who really pisses me off sometimes?
Right.
Peter Jackson, because I feel like now hearing through, they're like about the Middle Earth franchise, because I feel like when he started, he was like, I just can't let go. Because he made like so many endings for Lord of the Rings, and then he had to stretch out Hobbit as much as he could.
Do you feel like he wants to stay connected?
I thought he just like, I can't leave it. I need to do it.
He was originally
Peter Jackson.
Guillermo del Toro was originally
he like had to direct it, didn't he?
Del Toro was originally.
Ben, you know the story better than. Yeah.
No. What I mean is, I think he was like when he started. They like the amount of
the Hobbit was originally going to be 2 movies, wasn't it?
Which it should have.
Del Toro was going to direct the 2 Hobbit films.
Just to. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
You haven't?
Or The Hobbit. I watched the first half of The Hobbit.
Go watch Lord of the Rings.
But that was years ago.
Would you agree that the best Hobbit is Desolation of Smaug?
I'll let you guys talk about it. So.
Nah, I think the first.
Really? Okay, what do you think the best Lord of the Rings?
Oh, it's Return of the King.
Agreed.
Although I do like the 2 towers quite a lot. Man can kill me.
Okay, anyway.
I am no man.
Do you want to move back to Star Wars
I don't know if you want to kind of segue. Actually, I have a good. I'm going to do the segue this time.
I was going to ask about. Sorry, were you looking at everything?
He's got the angry eyes.
I was going to ask you about Empire.
Ask away, my boy.
What a good film magazine. It is. You should subscribe to it.
You cheeky bastard.
Product placement. Pay me £5.
I definitely
this
had a good
episode was
experience
sponsored by him.
It's much darker And then New Hope.
Coca-Cola's the London Eye.
And people like that. And it's a really imaginative piece of sci-fi. And the whole film is kind of just... I don't really know how to explain it. It's almost free-flowing. Like, you almost just follow these characters around.
It really is just a chase scene.
Yeah, exactly. And that's... bringing it back, it's kind of like why I like Birdman, is because it's all you just follow this guy. But I like A New Hope more. It's more fun. It feels more charming. I don't know. I had a good experience with Empire. I just felt like that was solidly very good.
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
It didn't stick with you that much.
No.
Okay.
And I don't want to. I'm not claiming it's a bad film at all. I think it's a really good one. I am a bit confused by all the hype. No, that's the wrong thing to say. I don't know what point I was trying to make.
Well, you think it's overrated?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a good film. I think it deserves. For the time it was made,
but you don't think everybody should.
For the imagination, and I mean, it's just a really, really cool film.
And hey, Billy D. Williams.
I was just wondering if you guys sort of had any thoughts on that. I'm not really proposing anything.
I've always thought Empire was the best of the trilogy.
I think all of the Star Wars films are a bit overrated.
In a sense, although
I mean, they mean a lot to a lot of people.
I know, I just think they're a bit overrated, which is fine, because, like, Spider-Man, the first one means so much to me, but to some people they're like, great, just throw away. But you know what I mean? So,
of course, but I think Blade Runner, the first one's a really good example, and people hate that film. But so many people love it. I love it.
My dad told me a story of how
it's a gorgeous film.
He was in a uni. He shared a uni dig with a guy who was researching Blade Runner for like a paper, and so my dad has seen Blade Runner so many times that he can't stand it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah. We
on the top.
We're analysing films.
We've analysed.
Do you guys like it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's.
I prefer the first one to 2049.
I haven't seen 2049.
Honestly, I think they're so different.
They are.
I love Roy Batty in the first one, the villain.
Oh my god, the monologue at the end, the tears.
It's
beautiful. It's so good.
Those
and the
memories.
soundtrack.
We're drifting off a bit.
Will be lost.
Now with those robots,
Tears.
what are they called?
Rain.
Ben's reciting them. Hang on, moment of silence.
We're done. I finished it.
What was he called? What were they called? The
Replicants.
Replicants. That's one. I like the way that they're robots, and I also like the way Star Wars had robots.
Are they robots?
And also, I like the way that Wall-E has robots.
Should we talk about the two Blade Runner films in a later episode?
No, I feel like
Pixar. Here we go.
that was a smooth segue.
Do we have anything else?
Blade Runner stars Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford was in Star Wars. Star Wars was bought by Disney in 2014. Pixar is also owned by Disney. Mic drop.
Universal owns every dishwasher in Northern Ireland.
What do you want about?
I guess we haven't really got much more to say on Star Wars.
No, I think should we go to Pixar?
Yeah. I mean, like,
okay.
Yeah, Pixar.
Ben, do you have anything?
Pixar, Incredibles.
I meant on Star Wars, but
we're still talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I like Count Dooku.
Do it.
I've been looking forward to this. Okay.
Right, so we're going to move on from Star Wars.
Sam Jackson's pretty
Thanks,
cool.
guys, for listening to that. We're going to talk about Pixar now in general. It's pretty broad, but
Now this is always difficult because I think my favourite Disney films aren't actually in Pixar.
Yeah.
Because like Hercules, Tarzan.
Those aren't Pixar.
They aren't Pixar.
I'm not really
they're not.
You know what,
versed in
I said
Disney
they
stuff.
are.
Oh, I thought you said your favourite film.
But you know what? You know which one is Pixar? Up.
Oh, I
The
really
beginning
like
of Up is one of my favourite openings of any movie because
Said everyone ever.
no, okay, fine.
I think it's a little bit rated.
I love
I think
it.
it's not the film. I mean the opening
because
sequence. It always gets cited.
No, because films.
sad.
I do think it is though, because films take a lot to make me cry usually.
Toy Story 3 made me cry.
And the only
I seem to cry a
the
lot.
only
To be honest.
okay, I've only cried in like 5 movies, which might sound, but it's not.
I cried at The Good Dinosaur, even though that's not.
Good Dinosaur is trash.
I cried.
It's not a super good film,
I
but
hate.
I
Good
cried
Dinosaur.
in. No, I'm not going to say that. Okay, well, one of the movies I cried in was Up, and that was the first.
Suicide
time I saw
Squad.
it.
I cried when.
I cried when
Captain Boomerang, he's leaving them. Where is he going?
Now when
No!
when Slipknot died.
My favourite character.
Anyway,
This is Katana. She's got my back.
One description you get is that you can climb anything, and the minute you climb something, you say
Looks like he couldn't climb out of Beast's Suicide Squad.
But I think that the beginning of that film is so like the emotion. They're produced within me.
Not Suicide Squad.
And,
Up. Stop talking about the Suicide Squad.
You're gonna make me
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
That's the Up
I
music.
feel like I just went through a time portal.
I think with Up, it's just like I think that you almost like there's character arcs built in like 1 minute of montage,
Yeah.
and you may disagree, but I just think it's so beautifully done. I think it's one of Pixar's biggest accomplishments is making me cry.
I wouldn't agree there are character arcs.
Well, okay, like development.
It creates and sets out what's his name?
Carl
No,
Fredricksen.
I think it just establishes him for him to then grow in the actual film. But I think it does a really good job of that. Also, on the opening sequence, I think it's great for its visuality, especially in the hospital bit.
Yes.
When
Where it's
she
all-
missed.
and you're
No,
like,
she can't have kids.
Yeah,
And I think
No, thinking about
but it doesn't. I don't know. I think.
and the contrast of him not being able to walk up the hill and then her not being able to walk up the hill, that kind of reversal of role.
I'm actually getting a bit teary. To be honest.
It's sad.
No,
it's sad.
It's sad.
It's really sad.
I personally feel that the golden age of Pixar, and you'll probably disagree, was the Brave era. No, I'm joking.
Brave is my
I'm
favorite.
Merida. I can shoot anything, including Katniss.
You will not loose another arrow.
When did Wall-E come out?
Oh,
2008.
I actually really like Wall-E
Wall-E is good.
Yeah,
Because-
I was just going to say, I think
Wall-E's
Pixar's
a perfect.
because Eve is just a brutal killing machine disguised as a
just
It's a
saucy
cute-
robot.
Pixar released Ratatouille in 2007,
That's
Wall-E in 2008, and then Up in 2009.
that's a
Is that I feel like those three films?
And
I
then
mean,
Shrek
they're
is
my
like Shrek
favorite.
is life
They're my
in
favorite
general.
Pixar films, and some of my favorite animated films actually. Full stop. Apart from the Lego Movie. I feel like is almost the golden age of Pixar. I really like Finding Nemo. I really like Monsters Inc. 2. Actually, they're all good, aren't they?
I quite like.
My favourite is Cars 2.
I'm really not representing myself very well on this podcast. It feels like I just like everything.
Planes too.
Okay, that was trash.
I don't know. Does Planes count as Pixar?
Yeah.
No one counts Planes.
Oh yeah, guys.
It wasn't Pixar.
Guys, another
Oh, thank
suggestion.
It was a spin-off by Disney.
Another suggestion that we were going to have. That my suggestion for this show was that we should have called it Pixar.
Oh yeah.
That was not a bad name.
What did you? I don't know. I think Ben just responded, "Die."
Yeah, I just die.
But I do have an affinity for the Cars films and Cars
Infinity.
2.
Did someone say Infinity?
Did you like grow up with them?
Honestly,
I really
you have
like.
to-
Good
cocaine
shout. Have
character.
you
No,
seen
I
the
really-
Cars, the Lightning McQueen memes? Lightning McQueens?
More like name a more iconic duo. It's just like Cars 2 and Beans.
No, but like Lightning.
Cars was my super favorite film growing up, but I don't think Cars 2 is good. But I do.
Have you seen Cars 3?
I really enjoy it as a guilty pleasure. I haven't yet, actually.
I haven't seen Cars.
No, neither have I.
Okay.
I think
what's
because
wrong
it
with
was so intense. The trailer was like, "Nothing's going to stand in my way."
Can I just say,
He was like, "I decide when I'm done."
can I just say that after hearing what you guys think is the best Pixar film, I must say
No, we
you are both wrong.
No, I haven't
on
said which
so
one.
many
I haven't
levels
said which
because
one.
no one has even mentioned The Incredibles.
I was just about to. I got it on my phone, Ben.
The Incredibles was the first film I ever saw in a cinema.
Oh, really?
2004. I remember watching it as a tiny 4-year-old boy, and I loved it then. And rewatching it prior to the sequel's release, I love it now. It is.
Now the short in front of Incredibles 2.
It is
Some women eat it.
just. It's not only is it one of the best superhero films ever. I think it's just it's a great film about family and the importance of it. A family going
Yeah.
through turmoil.
Now,
I think Incredibles. Maybe I just haven't read enough on it. I haven't seen the second one yet, by the way. Which
Yeah.
one?
I have.
We've both seen
Me,
it.
me and Ben have. We see literally everything like so early.
Well, yeah, because
I
we've
don't
got
really-
like cinema things.
you guys live in different places to me. I live quite remote, so
He lives off into the country.
Yeah,
He's
this
like
is-
in the middle of a
cinema's
desert.
a bit of a commute sometimes, but so I don't go there often. But we'll get onto the sequel with you guys in a minute. But
Pixar.
maybe I haven't read around enough, but I feel like The Incredibles doesn't get enough credit for being kind of as dark as it is.
It is.
I honestly,
when he's
you know,
like,
you know
I'll
this.
break her like a tooth.
There is a
No, I
guy
just wanted the specific
who tries
scene-
to commit suicide in the first act.
Yeah.
Like there is a suicide attempt in a kids
but
film.
it doesn't like riff on the darkness. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't like go, whoa, look how dark and edgy. It's just
it
like,
doesn't-
yeah,
it doesn't
he tried
play
to
with
jump
it. It
off a
doesn't play
building.
with it. It's just part of the world.
Yeah.
I always think of the bit. He's on a bridge or something, and all those black things are getting shot at him.
Yeah.
And
The weird balls.
I don't know. I haven't seen the film in about a year.
That used
probably.
to spook me
Yeah,
as a kid.
I remember that being so unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's kind of
you
being
not-
trapped.
kind of
God, it's suffocating.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it's it's the editing where it's flashing really quick in between. That scared me. Can I
Need to
just
rewatch
can I just find the
So
Cars
good.
3 trailer just to play for our viewers? Just I decide
you
when
like.
I'm done.
Speed.
Wally's my
Okay.
favourite.
I am
Or Ratatouille, or Up.
Speed.
One of those.
No,
I think of the best.
we haven't mentioned either of my two yet.
Oh yeah, go on, Jake.
Bugs Life,
Ew.
which I love, and Finding Nemo is probably
Really?
Bug-
Bug's Life?
Bugs Life was one of my absolute favourites growing up too, but I haven't seen it. I think.
I'm a beautiful
So-
butterfly.
Can we talk on Finding Dory?
Oh,
Oh,
Why
I
you-
want to play that, Jacob.
Why are you?
Are you going to play it?
no, guys, you keep talking.
He's looking for the Cars 3 trailer.
Did you like Finding Dory, Ben?
It was okay. I've
I thought the
always.
first 15 minutes were
Oh, they were adorable.
atrocious.
What?
So bad. They
Okay.
were like, it's.
I think-
it's way too fast. It all just happens. And you're like, wow. there's
Okay.
no-
I mean,
it gets more charming after that though. But I think it's all a bit scattergun and
Yeah.
There's no real way to it.
yeah.
And the subplot of Dory and her parents is so rushed and almost brushed aside for this stuff in the aquarium, and that's fine because the stuff is an aquarium.
Yeah, it's an aquarium.
That's all fun. And again, I think Pixar do I don't know how to word it. Narrative tension very well, where you're
Give me an
just
example.
where you're just watching characters
Do
do
things.
things, but they kind of almost phrase the scenes structurally. That makes it really interesting, but without all the subtext of The Incredibles, for example. Is it Dash and Violet that get left alone on the planet? Yes.
You mean the island?
Yeah, sorry, planet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredibles,
Incredibles,
all
the
that-
space opera.
Yeah. All that stuff's so gripping, even without.
Yeah.
Again, subtext. But yeah, Finding Dory. I mean, it had that trademark Pixar stuff, and I was like, I can enjoy it for this. But I mean,
It just
everything
didn't get
else
you.
was rushed and dumb. I had fun. But
I really like the
did
original
I have fun?
Finding
I'm
Nemo.
not sure I did have fun.
5
out
There's-
of 10.
There's a Shining
Can I-
reference in Finding Nemo.
there?
Yeah, when Bruce smashes his head. Yeah, he says, "Here's Brucey."
Oh, I do remember.
The Shining is
This is
great.
how intense in Cars 3 tried to make itself.
Is that Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, but like it just sounds.
Ka-chow!
It just sounds like somebody like.
Do you guys love Owen Wilson as much as I do?
Yes.
No.
I love him.
His
Love
hair
him.
looks like it's made of spaghetti.
Oh, exactly.
Wow.
Hey, this is really good spaghetti.
Wow.
Real quick thing. Am I the only one who has anyone seen the film No Escape? Or is that just me?
Which one is that?
It's one with Owen Wilson.
I don't
Oh,
like Owen Wilson.
I remember it coming out and getting criticised for being like
An Owen Wilson film.
like having a quote unquote skewed worldview. I think that was.
I
Rotten Tomatoes,
I
wasn't it? I haven't
actually
seen it.
quite enjoy it, and I think he plays like not
more
gritty,
of a
but
Kevin-
Serious role.
But he
like-
plays more of a serious role very well actually.
I'm more of a Kevin Smith.
But I think it
kinda
was
guy.
to prepare him. I think it was to prepare him for Cars 3. That's
Is
just
Owen
like
Wilson in Cars 3?
Sorry,
like
I got that late.
he says it before. He said it before like in the trailer. He goes, "I'm taking you down, Storm," and I'm like, "All right, bloody John
Is-
Wick." Like,
Is Owen Wilson in Cars 3?
he is.
He's
like,
Lightning McQueen.
Oh,
Ben.
yeah, he is. I'm stupid.
Don't you know your Cars mythos?
No, I'm not a expert on the Cars mythos.
and now
Larry the Cable Guy. He is Vader. Cars films.
He's an American comedian. Hey y'all, it's me, Larry the Cable
American
Guy.
comedian. No, I'm not going to say that. 'Cause
These nuts.
I was going to say Kevin Spacey, but I feel like I'd get rid of Pete.
Oh dear.
He was in Bug's Life. Kevin Spacey.
Did you guys see? Have you
He's
guys seen
really
Coco yet?
No.
Yes, I have.
Oh, Ben, do you want to talk?
It is beautiful.
Oh, really?
It's a very nice
He's
film.
Australian, doesn't he?
Oh, shut up. It's like it's just nice. Again, like there's this moment at the end. I don't know if any of you care about spoilers.
Maybe don't spoil.
No, well, there's a
because it's recent.
there's
I
a-
don't know.
there's a
Even though
well,
for
I was
Han
talking-
Solo,
I
we
was
were like,
talking- I don't care about
people saw it.
I don't
Anyone
care
who
about
wanted to see it
people
saw it,
listening.
like-
I'm just saying, if you two don't want to spoil
yeah,
it.
don't spoil it.
There's
I don't want to spoil.
There's a
personally.
Pixar tearjerker at the end.
Oh, of course.
Does someone go?
But yeah, it's got some fine ass music in it as well. And it's just really good. Coco. The world of because it's based on the Mexican Day of the Dead. I forgot what the actual name is. But the world, the land of the dead world. It's really, really nice.
Is Dead the Dead a Mexican?
It's a Mexican thing.
Mexican.
Yeah. It's a
I heard
Carinos dos Mato.
Is it-
Forgive my Spanish.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Wasn't all that stuff at the beginning of
it's like Verduras das Muertas.
Yeah, something like that.
Something das
Forgive
Muertas.
our
Wasn't it
pathetic
that's-
white Spanish.
It's in the beginning of Spectre too, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, in Spectre they have the Day of the Dead.
Have you seen
Festival.
Have you seen the Book of Life?
No, but I really want because Del Toro
Yes, I have.
produced it or was involved. I can't
It
remember.
is nice. It just looks good. Like all the characters look like they're wooden puppets.
Yeah, I
Is
saw
that-
the
is that
trailer.
the one
and
where
it's
he
really
gets
keen.
bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's a good one.
So I have a
I
quick.
think Jack Black's in it. No, it was Ice-T, not Jack.
Why
How did I get those two mixed up?
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
I have a point to make, and this is one of my favourite things Pixar's done, and it's their shorts. Now
I was gonna
here we go.
mention
Now
those, yeah.
I think we should cover this briefly, but can I say my favourite?
I love
I
that you-
believe that you find this on the delete, on like not the delete, on like the extras of Monsters Inc. DVD, right? But
I've still got VHS.
But Mike Wazowski's new car is the
I remember
funniest
that one.
thing.
I saw that.
It's the funniest thing.
Remind me how it goes.
So it's like you like look at my new car,
Presumably
and
he has
then
a
it
new car.
basically is just Mike Wazowski getting tortured by a car for 5 minutes.
Is that when he
Wonderful.
sat in and the car keeps going off and doing things?
It is
I saw
actually
that, I
it's
think.
actually the funniest thing I've watched. And Jack Attack, I used to think was hilarious.
Jack Attack. So remember. That.
Hey, I'm Gary the babysitter.
I actually like the short played in front of Incredibles 2 with the dumpling.
Bow.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't. That's weird.
it is
Yeah, I've
very
heard pretty,
it,
like,
it
it's
is very
bizarre.
weird, but at the end it's kind of revealed because like she makes a dumpling, and it's
And it begins to cry.
It turns into like a person, and she like treats it as though it's a son. And at the end, the dumpling tries to leave the house, and she refuses, so she eats it. And then she's crying, and then it's kind of like you see the dumpling man but full size, but then she blinks, and it's her real son. And so I feel like it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
it really like it's a real cool thing about
Awesome.
parenting, and it's like she's been estranged from her son,
I
and she's surrogate.
His girlfriend,
a dumpling.
the girlfriend character he has is hot in that. I'm really lying.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
I really feel strongly that kids movies really need to start pushing the genre a bit. So I think Pixar making something a little weird for a short, I think, is a very, very good thing.
But all
I've
of the
always,
kids in
I've
the
just
audience
always
were
been,
like,
I've
what?
always been fond of stories with a strong theme of parenthood. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is my favorite Marvel film, because of the whole thing about
I really
fathers.
like Guardians too as well.
I do too.
It's
but I
also
don't-
got just a killer
it's
soundtrack.
It's not my favorite.
It's also really funny and well written.
It's not my favorite, but again, because all it is, as I mentioned in the last episode, is name jokes. Ha ha ha! You're a
Taser.
fox. No one cares. Sorry. I do
Okay.
like the film
Banter.
more than the first. It's like probably like my fifth or sixth favorite.
Yeah, I
MCU
like
film.
it.
Oh, it's my favourite.
Quick thing again about the Incredibles. We talk about dark humour.
I love
It also has
Incredibles
like, adult
dark
humour
humour?
contained. It's a film for everyone. And like so, like when Syndrome comes to the door in Jack Attack short, she's like, "What does the S stand for?" And I like to Syndrome. And he goes, "Oh, it stands for sitter." He's like, "I was going to have a big BS on there for babysitter, but you know I couldn't have that." And I just think it's really cleverly done
Right.
because, like, you do
Syndrome's
like you need to get to a certain age to realise that it's like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't walk around with like bullshit." Do you know what I mean? Like, so I just think it's very well done.
Have you heard the interpretation of Syndrome saying he's a really good like model for fandom, especially online, where he
Well, of course.
becomes so obsessed with something that he feels entitled, and then he is he's rejected by it, and that drives him to do bad things.
I love character stuff. I mean, I said this. I love characters.
One of the
So
reasons-
stuff like that. I think Syndrome is one of the best villains ever.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
One of the reasons Game of Thrones is my favorite show is because...
Would I like it? Do you think Game of Thrones?
I mean, if you're really big on characters, then yes.
I mean, you know my tastes.
I love it because it is full of so many characters, and you have characters that you adore, characters that you despise, and then you've just got characters you're like, yeah, he's cool. Like, it's got so many different... It's got a character for everyone, really. There is, like... You will not have an experience where you hate everyone or you love everyone. There are just...
I'll check it out. I was going to mention... sorry, did you have a point to make, Ben?
No. I made my point.
Do you want to go, Jake?
No, I was just going to talk briefly about short films, but you go first.
Oh, no, mine's going to segue into something bigger.
So, I was just going to say, what is everyone's opinions on the film, the little short clip film things they have,
I'm
Bow
down.
or whatever it's called.
I'm pretty sure I've only seen what?
I really
online.
I really like Lifted, the alien one, where they're trying to
Oh, I've seen that.
capture a guy,
Oh,
and they end up nearly destroying his house.
Yeah, that was really
have
funny.
you seen, we haven't talked about
Lava, I like. Yeah.
Inside Out.
I haven't seen it.
It's okay.
You haven't seen Inside Out?
No, I didn't bother.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, okay, sorry. I mean, personally, and this isn't because I'm not. Oh, look on me on that, because it's not about that. But I'm not really a huge fan of children's films usually.
Yeah.
This is what.
So I don't really watch them that much.
I mean, I still live with little brothers, and so whenever I kind
My
of use
sister's
them as an
older.
excuse to go see the next Pixar film, I'm like, hey mum, I'm going to go take them to see a movie.
I sort of pride myself on having quite a good relationship with my family. And I love to watch stuff with my brother.
Harry's family.
But going off of your point, Jacob, and I said this earlier about kids films pushing the medium. I think kids films and comedies, but that's a whole other thing, are so complacent.
They're kind of
They deliver the same
they've kind of
mind-numbing,
found a
superfluous twaddle.
Did someone say Illumination animation?
That to give an example, there are so many examples of Sing and Freebirds and
Nah,
I've watched-
Freebirds is a movie about some thick.
That is a weird movie.
Yeah.
It's a time travel movie.
I don't.
That one's got Owen Wilson in it as well.
Does it?
Yeah, he's the main character.
I don't want
to
to do a rant on this because I think I've done it to Jacob already. But Hotel Transylvania 2. I don't think I've hated a film more in such a long time.
Will agreed with you.
Do you know what film I hate? My most hated film? Pixels. I cannot stand Pixels.
We'll talk about that.
I think
Ooh,
I think my most hated film is a kids film
with a passion.
It's probably Where the Wild Things Are.
What was
the
that
Spike
movie?
Jones one?
I don't.
The
2013.
live action.
It was terrifying.
What was that?
It was.
I haven't seen it.
It was weird. It was not good.
They tried.
I just think
It's hard to adapt a small children's book into a hour and a half movie.
Don't do it then.
I talk
Someone asked me how did they do it. I said they didn't.
You shouldn't. Yeah.
I talk about it all the time, but the Lego Movie
great.
is the kind of caliber of kids films they need to be releasing. And I know it's hard to have a script as good as the Lego Movie.
It's
But also Shaun of the Sheep. Shaun of the Sheep.
Shaun of the Sheep.
Shaun of the Dead. Like George of the Jungle. No, Shaun the Sheep movie. I think is.
I've never seen that one.
It's
Neither have I.
so good.
We'll talk about Aardman in another episode.
Oh, we should, yeah.
Just so we can cover Mr. Rock for an hour.
Yeah. Early Man was so disappointing. But Shaun the Sheep movie doesn't have a word of dialogue in it.
But it doesn't.
It manages to be not a masterpiece, but
Really good.
damn good.
I
I
think-
really wasn't expecting anything. I was like, oh, this will be a 6 out of 10, 8, maybe 9. It's so good.
Going back to the Lego movie, I've
Oh,
always
yes.
found that the Lego movie is kind of proof that you can make a good movie out of anything.
Yeah, because you sit down and you think, oh god, it's the Lego movie. Christ, I don't
But you
how
leave
they
it going,
stretch out this serial.
I
but
am happy.
it's so good.
Like,
It's nearly as
with
good
the
as the
Lego
Emoji
movie,
Movie.
I think the Emoji Movie could have been good. Maybe you would have to gotten someone like Kubrick or Spielberg to make it, but
Kubrick making the
No.
Oh, I would have loved to see what would have happened there.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Emoji
Did you hear about the thing about him and Dora the Explorer?
Yes.
That movie got
Oh no! Apparently
canned or
he's
something.
making a Lobo film.
Yeah.
Michael Bay was going to make a Dora the Explorer film. I would have
That would be so
loved
good, though,
to
'cause
see that.
She would have been like,
I would have wanted to know what that
she
was.
could have told us what Day of the Dead is. It could have been sent around there. Alright,
I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, I just think kids films need to
How do
get
you
their
feel
shit
about
together.
Their game, really.
2 trailer?
Disappointed.
the what
Really?
trailer, sorry?
I just love the idea of
Lego
Lego
Movie 2.
Mad Max.
I just don't think
I
he's
think
like
it's
Emmett has had no character development. He's reverted,
Yeah.
Mm.
and that annoys me.
Yeah, I
I think
really feel
my
that too.
favourite.
Is it directed by the same dudes?
No.
Really? Oh.
It's not even written by them.
I
It's
don't know what my
Oh,
favourite.
no.
they have storytelling credit, but you can tell it wasn't them that wrote it.
Do any of you?
I just,
I'm going to check that
sorry,
actually.
I just like the contrast with the cute little Lego figures in like a dystopian Mad Max setting. I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
anyway,
Sorry that this is segued from.
Yeah, should we go back to Pixar?
well,
I
I
was
mean-
going to ask you about. Sorry, Jay.
Sorry,
Actually,
no, go.
you go.
No, because I was going to say, should we segue onto soundtracks? But
Segue.
Just sort of as a closing thing about Pixar, I think generally we quite like Pixar.
yes,
But we can acknowledge they've had some missteps.
I think its praise is being like, oh, it's unfailing, which it's not at all.
I still
I think they just made
'cause the
some
Good
damn
Dinosaurs-
good animated films.
I think they're the
I think
best
it's probably one.
animation
Yeah, probably like that or Disney Pixar. Isn't it? It's like
Studio
the best-
Ghibli.
It's just.
Oh, okay. Well, if
just
we're
probably
considering
the best-
mainstream Hollywood, you
That's a
can't
whole
probably
other
the
episode.
best like animation, like for children. So it's like film studio, but
Studio
it has had
Ghibli.
some missteps. However,
Someone
when
say
you
the
got
Good
when you got
Dinosaur?
films like when you got films like Nemo,
The Incredibles.
Incredibles 2, Wall-E, all those things.
And you
are
can't have a
kind of
hit
wrong.
every time, and it's so hard to do that.
What's your name is Miyazaki and the boys.
Well, Miyazaki.
I mean,
Did he?
Well,
let's just not talk about
No, he
Michael
directs.
Bay then, because he never misses.
Who?
I was just going to ask you about
I never.
Pixar's obsession with sequels. So
The
yeah,
Incredibles 2 was different because they've obviously
2.
realised superheroes are really popular. Let's pump out it again.
they didn't need a sequel, and I haven't seen it yet. And if it justifies itself,
I
great. But
I don't
I-
think The Incredibles 2 is bad. It's nowhere near the quality of the first one. It is but it's still a solid 7 out of 10 kind of.
That's what I gave it. 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Am
it's.
I the only one that's realised that Incredibles is set in the 60s with advanced technology?
Didn't you know that before?
I didn't know that until like a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, it's a little like presentation. They've saying is a little inconsistent, but you
No,
could
no.
argue it's an alternate.
It's always prided itself in being like a homage to the Silver Age of comic books.
and it really works.
That's one of the things I like most about Incredibles 2 is it really sticks to that Silver Age setting. I
The
think
soundtrack of Incredibles. Is just
I was about to
brilliant.
do the Mission Impossible theme for someone.
Oh, I love Mission Impossible.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Bum 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 bum.
Alright.
After having so many original films, you know, Pixar.
Like
are now
Wreck-It
doing-
Ralph breaks the internet.
Well, I mean, there's so.
Pixar are now
Pixar?
doing Incredibles 2, Toy Story
Well,
4.
I mean, they started.
Is Wreck-It
they
Ralph
started,
Pixar? No, sorry.
They started with
Like Disney,
what
isn't
if you
it?
gave
Or is it? No,
toys
it is Disney.
feelings? What if you gave bugs feelings? What if you gave
Ben,
Australians
rats
feelings.
feelings?
What if you
What
gave
if you
us
gave
feelings?
fish feelings? What if you gave Scottish people feelings? What if you gave robots feelings?
Yeah, I get the idea.
I mean, like, it
I'm
gets
like
to a point where
an
you gotta
eighth
go,
Scottish.
what if feelings had feelings?
I'm not really talking about Inside Out. I just mean
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying that.
Wait, have we gone back
That's
on
just a
Inside Out?
bad
We
joke.
left that like that.
we
Inside Out's good.
I really feel. I wasn't the biggest fan of Toy Story 3, but it was a great send off.
It made me cry.
Yeah, it made me cry.
I see
I
many
cry
events
everything.
earlier today. That one mentioned
But I don't. Toy Story 3
no.
was such a perfect like send off. I don't know
You
why
don't
they
know how
did Toy
they're gonna-
Story 4. No, I'm sure they'll do like an okay
No,
job.
it's going to
but
be called.
just,
It's going to be like
hopefully-
Logan. It's just going to be called Woody.
just make more original stuff.
Well,
There are so many like stories, like new stories they could tell so well.
Just
Like
make story toy.
I think The Incredibles. I mean,
Sure.
no. I think the Toy Story sequels are by far the best Pixar sequels. And we all
Sorry.
agreed that the Toy Story sequels are by far the best Pixar sequels.
Nah, the Inbredibles.
I think Toy Story 2 is
So you
very good. I
what
don't
would
think
you
Toy Story 3 is
Really?
superior to the first. No.
No, Cars 2.
I mean, I would say.
What about
Guys,
the
Pixar have just confirmed The Good Dinosaur 2.
guys? Guys, what about the
I'm joking.
Incredibles?
I would say.
I think Toy Story 3 is just.
I would say.
I'm just paraphrasing the YMS video at this point. But I honestly I've never. watch that video thinking like, yes, oh my god, this is exactly like what it's just a rehash. And again, and I talk about Pixar and like what I was saying with Finding Dory, like quote unquote, I don't know, sort of like narrative.
It's pretty dark, Toy
whatever.
Story 3, actually.
For surface level storytelling and tension, Toy Story 3 works so well because it's almost a heist film, kind of breaking out of somewhere.
I like the monkey.
And they play on that presentation quite nicely. But it is kind of just a rehash, and some things didn't work
I like
for
the
me.
Bugman.
Lotso was a promising villain, but ended up being kind of stupid. I think Toy Story 2 is better. Although
no, I think 3's better than 2. 2's always
I think 3's the lesser of the trilogy.
Oh, really?
But I still think it's a really good
I think
film.
the first one's the best. To be honest.
2, yeah, it is. But 2's always been really weird to me. I don't know why. I think it kind of scared me when I was younger.
We talk about again the darkness in the Incredibles, how it was kind of upset. Like
with
Toy Story
Jessie,
1, Sid.
Yeah,
Sid is he's a
so you know
sociopath.
that Sid's in Toy Story 3.
There's the bin man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Toy Story 2, that's really upsetting. Like when you find out about Jessie's backstory, her origin story.
Jesse, the
And
Pixar
also,
cinematic universe.
Soundtrack wise, can I say as well, soundtracks wise, I think that those Toy Story does it brilliantly.
You got a friend in me.
So it's Toy Story soundtracks.
I see.
I don't know if we're segueing onto soundtracks now.
Well, can I just say, I think Incredibles 2 is the best non-Toy Story Pixar sequel.
That's promising.
I mean,
I
don't go in with the
agree.
same expectations.
Apparently, it's a super different film.
Don't go in with the same expectations as the first one.
I don't think that Bob is a dick. I don't know. I always relate to him in some ways.
Bob is, yeah,
You know when he's like, "That's great, honey."
yeah.
Like,
I found him to be. Yeah, you get why he's like
I
that.
relate to him because he's not. He is jealous, but he just wants to be.
He just wants to
hero.
be. He wants to be.
But I mean, that's weird though when you think about the fact that like literally a few months prior he was a hero, like kind of, or like you know what I mean? Because the films are set right after one another.
The set.
That's also really cleverly done. So how they can follow it literally straight after.
One of the interesting things I found about Incredibles 2 was you have two characters in it. I won't spoil much, but one of them, they both remember the nostalgia of the. Remember, you know how in the Incredibles universe there's the superhero act that made them all illegal.
Yeah.
And
you have Gazer Beam.
You have one character who remembers the prior to that. He remembers superheroes very fondly.
Right.
And he remembers them with like, oh, these guys were awesome. And then you have the other character who's really distasteful about the
more
superheroes.
because of what happened.
And having,
like,
I know, but having like kind of a different contrast, and it kind of sets up about nostalgia. And I feel like that can be interpreted like, I'm not going to
It's
go
almost a
super
bit with,
deep
like,
YouTube video essay
I know.
into it, but I feel like nostalgia is an important theme throughout Incredibles 2.
It's almost
And
a
it
bit like
connects with the real world context.
it's
Sorry.
a bit like with It's a bit like with like Civil War and like BVS and like that kind of like you could relate it to that and how like they're like superheroes doing too much damage need to be put under control.
Yeah, but Batman v Superman.
Does not do it.
Can we leave this phone?
We left that
I like that film. Anyway,
because you're weird.
I don't
Yeah.
really have much more to say on Pixar.
Pixar.
I think they're not as good as they used to be, but they know what I think they still know what they're doing.
They know
I
what they're
still
doing.
look forward to the newest Pixar
I
movies.
think they are caving a little bit to this kids' film mediocrity trend that's been going on for a while, and I don't like that. And Aardman's going towards that direction too. But
I mean,
that's
but,
another
but,
discussion.
But I mean, like they know what they're doing.
Did someone say
So
the
I mean, sound.
Benedict
the times
Cumberbatch
are different
Grinch?
now and stuff, obviously. But,
Times change.
The times
I mean,
they
imagine
are changing.
if The Incredibles was released today, and that's like suicide or attempted suicide in the first act.
Oh, people would have talked about that.
It won't be like,
Well, people. I mean, if there's a conversation in Skyscraper about if Dwayne Johnson is appropriating disabled people because his character has prosthetic leg, I think they definitely would have complained about.
There was a thing about Scarlett Johansson playing a trans woman.
I don't want to get into.
Yeah,
this.
we're not going to get into
This
it.
isn't this kind of podcast.
Yeah, we're not the political.
This isn't that.
Although I do have
that
pretty
should be the
strong
name.
opinions on
This
that
isn't
stuff.
that podcast. Like,
This isn't that podcast.
tangent. Right, soundtracks wise.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on from.
Yeah.
Actually, Jacob, you're gonna.
I think
Start with the
I think
Pixar
now,
one.
like, we're gonna go from Pixar to soundtracks now. I don't know if we're doing what we did with films, which is kind of giving some of our favorite composers.
So at the end of every episode, we're probably just going to do a quick round
thing,
of
like-
some sort of broad topic like scores or favorite films.
It's not something that I think we should relate, like, because I think last time probably delved in a bit. I think we should literally kind of be like not listing off like bang bang, but like
I've got so many. I've got so many.
But
I don't have that many.
I don't think we should. I mean, there's so many I love, but I'm only going to talk about 3. I think purely because.
Do you want to limit it to 3 so it doesn't get?
Because I've seen them live play.
Oh, have you? I don't think I've ever done that.
I would love to.
I've seen 2 of them actually play. I've only seen like. Pardon?
You want to start?
Oh, sorry. So I saw a concert called Hans Zimmer versus John Williams.
Oh,
what?
Which was beautiful.
Was it better than Batman versus Superman?
Yes.
I mean, like you could be a literal pile of dog shit.
It was one of the most emotionally provoking nights of my life when I've just sat there listening to the songs.
Did they play them at the same time?
No. But like listening to like the soundtracks of the movies that have kind of made me. But like they picked such good ones as well.
Did they alternate between Zimmer?
They kind of did like 2 John Williams, 2 Hans Zimmer, like 1 John Williams, 2 Hans Zimmer, 2 like they kind of went like that. They kind of alternated a bit,
but like a rap battle.
But like they did everything you wanted to hear. Like you didn't leave, and I wasn't like, damn, I didn't hear.
I didn't get to hear Star Wars.
Exactly, but you heard everything. But like they went a bit more deep. I heard Gladiator and stuff, but I also heard Star Wars. Like they kind of went.
They got all the bases covered.
Yeah, I think composers. Now I'm somebody who, and I think this is part of my. Well, I don't know how my brain works.
Your wacky brain.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
All that stuff.
You could call it that.
Yeah.
But and I've spoken to like doctors, so it's really weird. But I have like a very good attachment to music and a very good memory when it comes to that. So I think for me, music, and not so much like I think especially soundtracks, like really resonate with me.
Such as?
I think Jurassic Park is.
That was one of the ones I was going to bring up.
Sorry, you can comment on it.
No. You talk.
I think
we'll both talk about it.
But I think
I haven't seen Jurassic Park.
They just do.
It's because you're a low life.
And Danny Elfman is another one I'm going to talk about.
Danny Elfman's good.
Yeah, I think he's really good when he's good, but I think he does do some schlop.
Now the Spider-Man soundtrack, I think is so beautiful, and I could listen to like the original.
Who composed that again?
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
And I could listen to, and I've seen his music played, but I haven't seen him play it. I could sit and just listen to. I think the track is "Love at Long Last." When they're in the graveyard and they talk to each other at the end of Spider-Man, I could listen to that track over and over and over. I think it's so beautifully composed, and I just adore soundtracks because they make me feel something, and they put me. And I know music's like music changes, but like they can change my mood on a dime. They do so much for me, and I think more than anything, they bring back memories. And I think something like Jurassic Park does that. It brings me back to 3-year-old me watching a T-Rex.
For me, the Jurassic Park theme is so nostalgic.
Yeah.
I listen to it and I just like have a flood of emotions.
Of course.
It resonates with me so well. Jurassic
just
Park being one of my favorite films, and it's the way it's composed.
Of course.
How it has the build up to the eventual iconic dun 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 dun, and that part. Even just thinking about it, playing it in my head, I just, I get that feeling. It really just warms me up in my.
Warm me up inside.
What? But other than Jurassic Park, for me, there's no soundtrack. I like Kubrick soundtracks.
Wow.
Before, I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about soundtracks you don't like?
Yes.
Suicide
Squad. No, okay. I think when we say soundtracks, I don't want like music.
No, sorry, we should be saying scores.
Scores.
Yes.
Although some of my favourites are some songs.
I don't like Ready Player One soundtrack.
I was going to mention that.
I don't remember that.
Ready Player One score is really bad. Like when like the Mecha Godzilla fight, like the music.
I think we watched this scene.
We watched it and then we said, the music kind of contradicts what's happening. It's like it's all positive, and like positive stuff isn't happening. Positive stuff isn't happening. And then like,
do you know who composed it?
I don't know,
Google
but
it.
it's like, oh look, what's her name, Artemis?
Yeah.
Like, you know when she chucks that little like gumball grenade to Mechagodzilla's head?
Yeah, I
It's like,
vaguely remember.
oh my
it.
god, it's so uplifting, and it's like, oh, you haven't seen it, have you?
No, I have, but I fell
Sorry.
asleep in the cinema.
Mate, they're just like, it's so uplifting, but like, it's not because you had no build up to that moment or anything.
My issue with the Ready Player One soundtrack, score. So it's Alan Silvestri.
Oh, okay. However, just really, really quickly,
Yeah.
he did Infinity War soundtrack, which
I
is
think-
fucking beautiful.
He did.
Yeah,
The tracks Forge and I Feel You are absolutely beautiful.
I think to me what Ready
Man of Steel soundtrack I love. Just gonna throw it out there, you know.
I just didn't like.
it was a good soundtrack.
You know when you like watch or hear or whatever or experience, I guess, a homage to something, but it doesn't really do it very well, and you like
Such as?
gosh, I don't know.
I don't.
What basically Ready Player One's score sounds to me like is
A homage to.
is someone who's watched loads of Spielberg movies and listened to the scores and think, oh, I can do that. It just sounds like
Trying to be Spielberg.
yeah, and just not.
Not
I'm
knowing
getting
what
it.
makes Spielberg
Well,
Spielberg.
not I
Well,
don't
'cause
know.
Spielberg directed it, so.
I guess.
Are you
just-
saying it's trying to embrace the
I guess-
John Williams-ness of
maybe
a lot of
too much.
Spielberg
I don't
films?
know. Faux Spielberg. Maybe?
Can we talk about
I don't
Schindler's
know.
List soundtrack briefly?
I haven't seen Schindler's List.
It's a silent.
No, it's not a silent film.
Sorry, no, sorry. Like Schindler's List soundtrack. Like, it's like, you know, like the violin, it goes do 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 do. Like, not that fast, but it's just so beautifully composed, and I love soundtracks and and scorists, if that's what you'd call it, composers, sorry, like John Williams. When the music isn't just like, oh, you don't think this is great music, but it doesn't fit with the film. Like John Williams' music perfectly fits and helps create a movie and helps create an experience, and it helps give moments their resonance.
Yeah, I think, and on the flip side of that, I think there's a real tendency to overdo music. And I want to. You guys seen 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I know some people really like it.
The Cloverfield project is amazing.
Paradox.
Whatever.
It is
Garbage.
The project is
pretty bad.
Project. What's a project?
Oh my god.
The Australian
10
accent.
Cloverfield Lane, especially the first act, especially when she's kind of working out what's going on.
Not John Goodman.
There is so much music all the time. It just doesn't let any moment breathe at all. I think. Did you guys, on kind of the subject of Spielberg, you know the Tintin movie?
Oh yeah.
I feel the same about that as well. The first,
That was a weird.
especially the first movie. It moves really fast, and that's fine. But I remember there being a hell of a lot of music just all the time, and I just want. I mean, maybe this is probably a personal thing. I just like to let things. Well, I like things to be allowed to breathe, and music can definitely help that.
Again, one of the things I know I'm going to bring this in every bloody episode, but one of the things I loved about The Shining is the.
I was waiting for how long it would take
It's
you to
just
listen.
the music, and how it builds up the atmosphere. Like the opening shot to The Shining. You know where it's going, the camera is dun 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 dun.
That sounds exactly like.
No, it's a lot slower, and it just it gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
What about
That's Ben's obligatory talk about The Shining for God knows how long.
what about Shape of Water?
Oh,
I
that's
think
brilliant.
Shape-
Alexandra
I think
Desplat.
That's a good one.
I love the bit because I have watched the film now.
Did you?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did. And I did. I loved
Good.
it. But I really like. It wouldn't be in my top 10. But I really like the and this is. I mean, I'm going to loop around something really quick and use just like a segue. So give me like a second here. But where it kind of goes black and white. She's dancing with the fish man, and it's kind of like it
Never.
and it complements those type of movies. And I want to quickly touch on those in theatre. I don't know if you two know, but I'm a huge musical fan, a huge theatre fan, and I like it when I like. Did you not?
No.
Yeah, I love theatre. It's like my guilty pleasure. I just can't go because it's so expensive.
I love theatre.
Oh,
I
yes.
am.
You could say I'm the biggest thespian of them all.
But I think I love it when I thought it was a dog. Sorry. But I love it when films have music
Embrace
like that that's so beautiful and has that old type singing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I get
kind
you.
of like that old.
Kind of
We're
like
having a game of footsie here. Like that, like the kind of like that kind of like
old 20s, the old 20s Hollywood kind of.
I think
Yeah, I
it's
like
beautifully done. Like think of
I like
musicals
I've
and
got you
theatre.
under my skin. I can't remember who sings it. Do
I've always wanted to go see the Book of Mormon.
you know who I want to see? Henry Cavill.
I just on scores we don't like. I just want to throw this in because I don't really like it as a score. And it's slightly controversial. Dunkirk.
Yeah, because it's actually just like. It's like, okay.
It's a bit. I just think it's a bit overused.
I
think
don't like Dunkirk though. So
Dunkirk is a film
It
that
was
you
okay.
have to watch in the cinema.
I disagree.
Really?
it's
I
a film
don't.
you
I don't. I
It's a
don't.
film you don't have to watch.
To be honest with you, I don't really like that sentiment of there being.
I mean,
Oh, you
like,
have to watch this in a cinema.
well,
I
I'm
just.
saying, I just feel like it's best in a cinema because of like the whole surround
Frank
sound.
Sinatra
giant
doesn't
thing.
got you. Sorry,
Frank Sinatra.
he doesn't got you on.
New York.
I don't like Dunkirk.
Yeah, that's
So-
because you're a poo head.
Just on. We can wrap this up in a minute. My favorite scores. I love Joe Hisashi. Hisashi. He's Japanese. I don't know how to say it.
Goddamn weeaboo.
Who does most of Miyazaki stuff.
Miyazaki.
A great deal of Ghibli stuff actually.
Me, Zaki, and my friend Todd, we go down to. Sorry,
Thank you.
What do you want about?
Specifically, Princess Mononoke, which is a film I adore, and the way the soundtrack.
I like
is
My
used.
Neighbor Totoro.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
got
love
the
that
cat
film.
bus.
Oh,
I love it.
I've got loads. I'm just going to list them. Birdman. I'm a drummer, so a soundtrack of just drums and
There's Whiplash.
by Antonio Sanchez, who has such a unique, like a truly unique way of playing. Sounds pretty good to me. Social Network soundtrack, of course, is the really popular one.
I don't remember Social
Trent
Network.
Reznor's great. Ocean's 11 mainly because I like that kind of music. The Machinist, I think, is a really good score. You can check my Twitter because I tweeted about it, and you can see at Harry GEEEVES.
Wow, look at that! Look at that!
Plug.
I can't
Shameless
check my
plug.
Twitter because I don't know what my username is.
Blade Runner has a great score by
Like-
Vangelis.
Oh, yes.
Everyone will tell you that. Moon by Duncan Jones. Not the script. Sorry, directed by Duncan Jones. The scores by Clint
What else
Mansell.
has Duncan Jones done?
Source Code, Warcraft,
Raw source code.
Yeah. No, Moon's great, but War Games,
Yeah.
which is Ferris Bueller. What's his name? Matthew Broderick before.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Jobs.
I thought you were about to say.
Have you seen?
Steve
I haven't
Buscemi.
seen that film. Was that any good?
What I really like Aaron Sorkin and script writing, where it's
I like
just.
Steve Buscemi.
So if you like, did you like The Social Network?
Goddamn Reservoir
You probably
Dogs.
have a good time with Steve
One of my
Ballmer. I really
favourite
liked it.
films.
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, it's just.
this?
What
have
I?
Are we on the read?
And just lastly as well, Submarine, which is a film I loved.
Cool.
Soundtrack by Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys. It's a really great soundtrack.
Night Before Christmas is probably my favorite animated film. Sorry,
I think it's overrated. I think
Who
Nightmare
said
Before
that?
Christmas.
They probably didn't pick it up.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. I feel like.
Sorry, Ben, we can't hear you.
Watch this.
What? There's something in
A
the air.
subpar film.
I really do not care.
I like Night Before Christmas very much.
I mean, like, it's creative. It's visually. What? It's just like. Yeah. I just don't think you should put it on a pedestal of stuff like Aladdin. Even
I
stuff.
disagree.
Well, I do
I
because
love how disgusting it is.
I think it's just.
Oh, I think it looks gorgeous.
It was one of the first movies I ever watched, and it means a lot. My bum just vibrated. Sorry, it means a lot to me.
You had it here first, folks.
Beauty and the Beast's soundtrack. The Gaston song is the greatest song known to man.
It's been ages.
It's quick like Gaston, no one slick as Gaston.
Okay, we're really
No
sorry.
one slick as
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about this. Sorry you had to hear that.
I hate Jacob. Can we kick him off the podcast?
Nah,
It's just me and Ben now. Right. Well, I'm kind of done. You guys.
Yeah, I'm done as well.
Oh, I'm just getting started.
I'm really tired.
You.
Why are we putting this in the podcast? Like,
This makes us more human.
I think there's a safe space to talk in the comments.
Just remember not to drink the tap water. What? Chemicals.
I mean,
Go
we
on,
could,
Alex
we could always give a quick background on ourselves. I mean, Harry over here.
He's the one, the only Neil Armstrong's nephew.
No, he's not. He
is.
Harry's
Don't listen to Jacob.
He's a nice lad.
He's a good boy.
He's average. He's just over 6 foot tall.
This is the
Weighing it
Harry
something.
Appreciation
I
podcast.
like to play my drums.
He
They're
does.
over there.
I like to play
Harry's a drummer
drums as well.
Give a bit about yourself, Harry. Tell the viewers a bit about yourself.
This should have been in the.
Are we done? Do you want to wrap this up?
No, tell me a bit about yourself.
Tell us about
I
you.
want to humanise ourselves. I'll say a bit about myself.
We really don't need to do
Yeah,
this.
I'm a fast runner,
He's-
and I like
he's a
films
fast
and
boy.
music.
I think
I'm coming in at nearly 6'2" now. I'm proud of that.
cool.
I'm
just
friend of
derailed.
these two people, and that's nice.
That was, by the
Mistake
way,
one.
from last episode. I forgot to list In Bruges, Adaptation, and Drive.
Yeah,
as my favourite films.
It's
Drive,
not,
yeah,
it's
I
not the
said
first
Drive,
episode
though.
anymore, Harry. No one cares.
I said Drive as well because also I know it's like a compilation of songs, but if we could have that, then the soundtrack from that's awesome.
I like the Guardians
Yeah,
of the
just
Galaxy
Night Call.
soundtracks. I'm just a fan of that kind of music. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easy.
This is
This podcast has derailed.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Please
Bye.
don't watch ever again.
Next week on
My name
what are we
will
talking
be-
about?
I don't know.
Mission Impossible and Edgar Wright next week.
We
so
are.
do tune in.
One of those things is good.
And our quick fire thing will be something.
What?
I mean,
Me and Jacob love Mission Impossible.
I've only seen the first movie. So.
Why that spoiler?
I don't know. Bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Ah!